Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here, and today I'm kicking off my post-event videos for Home of Wargamers. Those of you that don't know and didn't see the vlog earlier, a couple of weeks ago I attended Home of Wargamers, which this year was hosted in northern Italy at the fantastic Castello di Pavone, a lovely Italian castle with its origins dating back to the 9th century, I believe. So I was taken out there very generously by the Slytherin group, who started off as kind of a war games developer and now have kind of spread out to be a war games publisher and sort of moving into that sort of strategy title realm as well. We've got games covering PC and tablet platforms and mobiles as well. And while we were there, we got to see myself and other members of various press organisations, websites, magazines and all that jazz. We got to see various games that they have coming up this year or that they've just released. A lot of their war games as well. There's kind of their traditional hardcore grand strategies, transferring or kind of rather updating them over to more portable platforms such as iPad and Android tablets and things like that. So it was fantastic to kind of see those games made more accessible and great to see kind of real depth, big large games coming over to iPad and what have you. But before we kick off any further, I'm going to hand you over to a brief little intro that I recorded with Ian McNeil, who is the development director over at Slytherin. I should say my microphone in the recording didn't pick up as well, so I've added in a transcript of what's being said, as it was rather noisy.
Hi, my name's Ian McNeil. I'm the development director here at Slytherin, and we're here today at our Home of Wargamers event, which is a little bit of a misnomer because we used to be a war games company. Now we are more of a strategy games company. We make a lot of war games which appeal to a very targeted audience, but we also now make a lot of games that appeal to a wider audience. We've got games like Pandora, we've got Space Program Manager, Quadriga. There's a whole different set of games that we're now making. One of the games, my favourite games at the moment, Civilization 5 is the game I spent most time with in recent time. In the kind of more distant past, the games that really got me excited were, I've always been a Civilization fan, so the original Civilization, Dungeon Keeper, Command and Conquer, Railroad Tycoon. Those are the kind of games that really I spent endless numbers of hours with, ones that really kind of inspire you and give you ideas on what to do.
Those are Thank you, Ian, for that summary and intro. So, appearing around the screen right now will be the thumbnails to the other videos that I'm producing to start with for the Home of Wargamers event. A lot of them are sort of filming of the various presentations we were given on each of the games on show at Home of Wargamers, but there were so many. It would take me ages to get through all of them, so I've kind of picked 4 of the ones that I'm really excited about. I'm also going to mention a few others, and I may well, if I have time, get around to producing videos on them, but I'll definitely produce some kind of content down the line, pre-release, previews, or on release as first raw content. So first off, appearing, we have an interview with Ian again, but this time talking about Slytherin's PBEM++ multiplayer play-by-email system, which very interesting. And I heard a lot of games were using it, and I was just like, oh, what is this? And it's an interesting kind of take on cloud saves, the way they have their servers set up, and Ian talks us through how that system works with various Slytherin published games. So then we also have the first of 4 games that I'm going to be covering, Hell. This is using the Battle Academy 2 engine and is available for PC, Mac and iPad, or rather it will be when it releases. Hell is a fantasy turn-based strategy title. Really impressed with how they were pushing the visuals of this engine, of the Battle Academy 2 engine, and also I'd just seen the Battle Academy 2 presentation and then we saw Hell, so the change from a World War II title to a fantasy title, it was great to see how, you know, easy it is for the engine to switch over there. Great to see that. Then of course we've got Battle Academy 2 and the presentation on that, various snippets from it, as well as kind of my own thoughts on the game as well. So then we have Legion of Steel, which is available for iPad and Android again, or rather will be available for iPad and Android when it releases. Legion of Steel is a squad-based, turn-based strategy title, and you're fending off these mechanic alien creatures. Had a lot of promise. I really liked the control system on it, the various strategic maneuvers and attacks you could employ. Looked like good fun. And then finally, Sovereignty. Now, Sovereignty is being developed by the Lord Studios, and the Lord started off with a background in Total War modding, so I was very excited to see, you know, what sort of game they would be producing. You know, coming from a Total War background, given the chance, what sort of full game would they be making? Sovereignty is a grand strategy title available for PC. Should be out, I believe, Q3, Q4 this year. The presentation will have a more precise time for you for this year, or I believe maybe it might be out next year. But again, watch the preview for that information. But yes, Sovereignty has, again, it's a grand strategy, turn-based game, available for PC, and it has an interesting battle system, which really I can't explain except for go check out the preview. But it looked really cool, fantasy setting, elves, men, dwarves I believe, orcs. Looked rather awesome, and I really liked the visuals for the map. Now, any of you that have suddenly dashed off and checked out some of these presentations, or hopefully you guys are waiting until the end of this video to do that, you will notice that some of these games, you know, they're not you know, the most graphically stunning in the world. Their graphics, in fact, a lot of them, especially Battle Academy 2 and Hell, are a massive step up from their previous titles. And, you know, they're kind of opening their doors now from advertising and selling to the hardcore veteran wargamers, and they're now trying to get more people, you know, to check out their games, see if they like them, and they're also working on various titles that they think, you know, more mainstream gamers will enjoy. And certainly, you know, from an RTS gamer's perspective, you know, I'm aware of grand strategy games and I dabble in them now and then, but I'm not very good at them, and that's the reason why I haven't Let's Played them before. But a lot of these games, you know, while there were some uber hardcore AGOD war games at the event, which I was pretty scared of, to be fair, because I was just like, wow, there's a lot to them, so much depth, so many menus. That's probably not my cup of tea. But things like Sovereignty appeals to that the gamer within me that likes the idea of grand strategy games that's just not very good at them. So if you love your grand strategy titles, there's plenty of them coming your way from Slytherin and Matrix Games, and all those involved with Home of Wargamers. So definitely keep your eyes peeled. So yes, while these games may not be the, you know, the next gen graphic games of 2014 and 2015, they certainly have a lot of depth and a lot of gameplay to them. So definitely worth checking out. So yeah, definitely don't judge a book by its cover in these games' cases. We'll be doing that in a first raw. So, that is pretty much all I wanted to say in terms of the games I wanted to cover. One or two more games from the event that I may do videos on later on, but I definitely wanted to give an honourable mention. Warhammer Armageddon was shown at the event, and we were also given one of these lovely Apocalypse codex, which are very weighty. Lovely pictures, as all the codecs do for the Warhammer board game, and of course you could do a lot of damage with one of these, clubbing someone over the head, although I don't recommend that. But carries a good bit of weight to it. But yes, Warhammer 40k Armageddon, turn-based hex styled game, looks promising. I'd like to see how that develops. Will be interesting to see how that comes along. And finally, a game which I really didn't think, I was like, oh, I'll play it once and that's it, sort of thing, called Quadriga, which is a chariot racing simulator game, career maker as a master charioteer of the Roman age. Available on iPad, and I believe it's coming to PC very soon if it hasn't already. And you can have a single player where you're racing around the Circus Maximus or an arena, and you've got to get around as quickly as possible. But it's turn-based, so your chariot will run for so long along the arena, and then you'll need to give it its next order, its next commands, whether it moves into the next track over, whether it spurs the horse on. Now, to you guys that may sound all incredibly basic, and you're thinking, all right, Lionheart, how can that be, enjoyable, and how can I really get stuck into that? You would be incredibly surprised how addictive that game is. So once that game's out and I can get it on my iPad, I will definitely be showcasing that, because it was just silly amounts of fun. And if anything comes across from this video or comes across from the event, you may look at these games and you may not be interested, and maybe that's not your cup of tea. But for me, there wasn't a game that I saw there that I didn't go, it doesn't really, it doesn't look fun. Granted, some of the hardcore age-old war games were probably just not my cup of tea, but they still looked fun, and the guys that were talking about them were very passionate about the games that they were producing. But on the whole, all the other games that I saw, that weren't the hardcore war games, I was just going, I just want to play this. I've gone a bit away. I don't want to see the rest of the presentation. Let me play, because it just looks good fun. On the last day in particular, we had a tournament with Battle Academy 2. That game is great fun. I loved it. I scored very low in my first attempt, so I managed to jump on in the tournament and get a second go, as most people did. They managed to get a second go and see who got the highest score, most improvement. And not only did I improve quite remarkably, but I just got stupidly addicted to the game, and that will be a game that I will definitely be playing when it gets released. So there will be plenty of first draws from the Slytherin group's published and upcoming games. Please do check out the games that have been linked around for this video. Please do check out the previews, and let me know what you think in the comments. Fair play, be brutally honest. If they're not your cup of tea, they're not your cup of tea. But, I hope some of them look interesting to you guys, and I'll be showing you more gameplay once these games are released and I can do some first draws with them. Again, a massive thank you to everyone involved in getting me out for the Home of Wargamers event. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was fantastic, not only just getting to meet the developers, other people in the press, but the staff were just so friendly and so passionate about the games. So, as always guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do remember to comment, rate, subscribe, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, take pride in joining the Legion, my Steam group. All links are in the description to videos as well, in case for some reason you can't click on the annotations on screen. Ciao for now.